Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So in this video, I am going to show you how to create these extruded buildings quickly in Grasshopper using one of the plugin called Urbano. So let's just jump right into it. So before I start, I just wanted to quickly mention to you what this plugin is actually for. So if you go to Food for Rhino and just look up for Urbano, you should be able to find this page, and if you log into your Food for Rhino account, you should also be able to download and install it to your Rhino and Grasshopper and just immediately use it for your project. So just to quickly mention, in terms of urban design analysis, there is a lot that you can do with this plugin. As you can see with the teaser here, they can help you generate some kind of like walkability analysis. And if you're doing urban design, you should definitely check this plugin out. It's really powerful in terms of like parametric approach to your urban design model. But I'm not going to talk more about that. You can check it yourself on their tutorial videos as well. It's really good. But in this particular video, I'm just going to use one of their components to help us generate this extrusion of buildings in a neighborhood size that we can get the data from OpenStreetMap. But in this case, we are going to get it from AURIN. So if you take a look at Urbano-based data, they actually get the data from OpenStreetMap. But if you're in Australia, you know that AURIN is actually a better site if you want to get like a figure ground data or building data from your area. So in this video, I'm going to show you particularly on how to use the Urbano plugin, but using the data from AURIN. So let's get started. So as usual, we start from AURIN to get our figure ground data. I have shown you multiple times in my previous video on how to set the location in AURIN if you start a new project, and I have set my location in Parkdale here as my neighborhood example that I'm going to get the data from. So now if you have set your location in AURIN, you can click here and just select current map view. So you'll see that there is this bounding box that you can kind of like move around and change the boundary size. And if you have set that boundary on the area that you want to get, you'll notice that there is a coordinate numbers below the bounding box selection. So these coordinate numbers here below the bounding box selection is really important later because we're going to use this in our Urbano plugin components. So make sure that after you set your location, the bounding box here on the location that you're going to get the figure ground from, make sure that you don't change the position of your bounding box, because if you change it, it's going to also change the numbers here and it's going to be different from the dataset that you're going to download from AURIN. So make sure that you don't change your bounding location. So now after we set that, click on browse and just type in float map. And here, just click on search and you can select this quick MWC float mapping building footprints. So here on the attributes, we don't have to select everything. We just need a couple of the data that we are going to use in Urbano. So we are going to take geometry fields and then also the average building height. So just those two attributes and these existing attributes that is already ticked by default. And after you click that, just select add and keep browsing. So we can just quit, exit from that. Now after we get this shapefile, after we get these data sets and then also the bounding box, we can now download the shapefile of this data set. So while this is downloading, you can also click on this and select the edit bounding box values. So here, this is the coordinate that we are going to use on our Urbano. Now we can just extract the files first here. And now we can start working in Rhino. So if you open your Rhino, you can open your Grasshopper as well. So here we don't have to export anything on the Rhino model because all the 3D extrusions model is going to purely be generated from Grasshopper. So the first component here that we are going to use is to import shapefile features. This component is from Urbano, so if you already download and install your Urbano, you should also be able to access these components. And then the next is we're going to get file path. Here we can right click and then select one existing file, and then we go to the folder where you keep your figure ground file and just go into the shapefile folder and just select the shapefile in for your figure ground that you download from AURIN. So we just click open and we just connect that to the component. So now we have that figure ground file path already connected into this component. The next thing that we need is that we need the coordinate here on the bounding box value where we download our figure ground from. So here we can just create panels, and we are going to create 4 of them. This coordinate is really important because it's going to define the location of the file path that we connect into this component. So if we generate panel and we connect that to the points, so it says that no data was collected, it's because they don't have the coordinate. So that's why this coordinate is important, because it's going to help Urbano, this component, to find the file path of that figure ground that you download in AURIN. Or if you're using OpenStreetMap, it's also the same. You need to also copy the coordinate in OSM in order for Urbano to be able to find your figure ground in the map. So now we just copy this to our panels. So what I did was I was just copying in this order, so from this to this to this and to this. So I might not know which one to plug in on the left, right, top or bottom side on each of these coordinate, but if I copy that in that order, I can just randomly just connect that to left, right, top and bottom. So you'll notice that it was collecting data, but now it doesn't collect anymore. It's because this coordinate is not on the right position of this left, right, top and bottom plugs here on this component. So what I will do is I'll try to switch one of these components to find the right order of this coordinate. Now if I switch the bottom part, if I switch that, now you see that it collects those the points of the figure ground that we download in AURIN. So it means that you're now successfully generate those data from AURIN into your Urbano components. So we can delete this now, and then from here we can then select polyline here, and then we can connect that from the points. So if we preview that, now you can see the building base is already formed in this in our Rhino 3D platform, which is good. So next I'm going to select inspect building this is also a component from Urbano, and I just connect this. And then now we get the geometry out from this polyline. So after we get the base building, now we'll need the average building height data that we download from AURIN as the base direction for our extrusion. So to be able to do that, we're going to generate those average building metadata from the file, from this component as well. And if we just click on that panel and we connect that here, you'll see that we have the average building height that we download from AURIN in these metadata components. So what we are going to use is we are going to use this component called deconstruct metadata. So what it does is it's going to deconstruct this metadata, because we have several metadata that we get from AURIN, and it's going to deconstruct it, and it will let us to select just one of the metadata, which in this case is the average height building, and use that as our parameter and ignore the rest of the metadata that it has in here. So after we connect that, now we can select this key search. So here we can connect this, and for this search component here, we can select panel, and remember that the metadata names here is really important. So we're going to exactly type this name here, height average, which is the one that we are going to use. So type that exactly like how it's typed in the original metadata file. So here, and then we connect that to search and delete this. Now if we also just to check, so now as you can see here, this is the height of those buildings that we get from AURIN. But you notice that there is this minus 999 value here, and if you check in AURIN, it says that the value of minus 999 is actually the value of the buildings that they don't have the average data. So this is going to be important, because if you extrude these buildings based on the height that we have in this particular metadata component, it's going to extrude on the opposite direction of the buildings, and it's going to extrude exactly on this value in meters. So it's not going to look good on your model, and you want to remove this from your model. So just to quickly show you how it's going to be if we don't remove the minus 999 value from our metadata. So if we just select this, and then from that geometry we connect that to the base, and then we are going to select unit C, which is the direction of that the height of the building. Connect that, and then connect that as our direction. Now you'll see what I was talking about. So those buildings here that was extruded on the opposite direction is actually the value of that minus 999, where they don't have the actual height data. Now obviously we would want to delete this from our model, and to do that we can just pull these all these value that is below 0 out from our pattern. So to do that, select larger than component, and then plug in our result as one of the value, and the other value is 0, and then plug in there. and then we can select cool pattern component and then plug in the result into the list, and then the larger than as our pattern. So what it does is it's only going to select the value that is only larger than 0. So it's effectively deleting all those values that is minus 999 from our model here. So we can connect this into our C unit. Now you see that it's deleting all those minus 999 value from our model. So now if you see this, we don't actually have the base of our model. We only have that kind of like the edge of the buildings, and that's not what we want out from this model. This is because we just plug the base straight from these inspect building components. So what we want to do before we plug this as the base so that we can get the whole boundary from the top and the bottom is that we want to select boundary surface. So this will create the surface out from this geometry, and then from there we can create geometry here, and then we can then plug into the base of the extrusion component. Now you can see if I off the preview of those components, now you can see that it has the top, bottom, and the edge as our building's extrusion. Now if we just select custom preview and connect that as the geometry, now you can see more clearly that we have the building extrusion in a perfect condition. So you can bake this as your model, and you can create your render image and everything else. So that is how you generate this building extrusion from AURIN and using Urbano components in Grasshopper to be able to get this model. It's really quick, as you can see, and it's actually really simple. You should definitely check this plugin out, explore more on this plugin. So that's it. I hope this is going to be useful for you and for your project. Thank you for watching.